Hi, I'm Katherine Harrison, founder and CEO of Magpie, and I'm joined by John Wee, the CEO and co-founder of Center Stage. John, thank you so much for joining us.
No, for sure. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to the conversation.
Uh,
Good to connect again.
Always, I love talking to you, John. Thanks so much for making some time to chat. So today we're going to talk about what you're doing to prep for the National. Obviously, the biggest sports card show that happens in the US, probably in the world all year long. And it's happening in the end of July in Atlantic City. I'm a Jersey girl, so while I've heard a lot of hate on the Atlantic City location, I'm staying with my parents while I'm there, so I'm kind of excited about it. Um, before we jump into this year, though, tell me, how many nationals have you been to? What do you think makes for a great national?
Actually, this is going to be my second national. Last year was my first one. I got back into card collecting right after Kobe Bryant passed away, right? So in January of 2020. So looking forward to this one. I think in terms of this national, it's a bit daunting, I guess. You're very lucky to have family out there. I grew up in Virginia, and I used to road trip up to Atlantic City every now and then during college. This time flying into Philadelphia, renting a car is not going to be the most fun, but looking forward to being back out there. I'm going to also get a chance to see my family again, which with COVID, it's far and few in between in the last couple of years. But in terms of like what makes a great national, it's just the people, really, right? All the connections that you could meet up with, people that you haven't been able to meet up in real life, and just looking forward to that opportunity and find cards that I've been kind of on the hunt for, hopefully at a good deal, but we'll see.
Oh, that's exciting. So tell me, what are you on the hunt for? Are you looking for a specific player, specific card, certain eras? How are you feeling about the market given where things are at the moment?
I think, to answer your last question first, the market, prices have softened a little bit, but that just kind of enables me to buy more cards that I've been wanting for quite some time. So as a collector myself, I'm really excited about it. For my collecting experience, I've been collecting Kobe Bryant cards for a while now, and I have a very unique sort of subset of cards that I'm looking for. And I have this long-winded story about, meeting Kobe Bryant, spent his 20th birthday weekend in Korea with him and his family, his mom, his dad, and his cousin.
Cool.
And on his birthday, I gave him a set of wristbands, and I have the one right here. So he signed one of the wristbands and he gave it back to me and told me he'd wear it that season for good luck. And, I know it's probably unlikely that's the exact wristband that he wore, but, I've been on the hunt for looking for cards where, he's wearing a very similar wristband like this one.
Oh, awesome.
So
Cool.
looking for 1999, maybe 2000, so third or fourth year Kobe cards with images from that 1998-99 season, since I met him in 1998. So very unique, and it's luckily not too expensive because it's not his rookie year, right? So that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, very cool. Well, everyone keep your eyes out for the second and third year Kobe cards with the wristband. That's super cool. So that's great. You have kind of a clear target in terms of what you're looking for as a collector. As a business owner, and also as a collector, what do you do to prep for the national? What are you excited about, and kind of what are you doing in these weeks leading up to the national?
So we're taking the national a little bit easier. We were trying to potentially get a booth and have a presence there formally, but this is going to be more of an informal trip, kind of as a collector, and also an opportunity to network and connect with other people in the industry, like you as well. So we're just setting up connections, getting things on the calendar to meet up with people for a drink or two, and that's the joy of the hobby, I guess. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Got it. So it sounds like you're taking more of a laid back, serendipitous approach. Go to the show, see who you meet, see what cards you find, versus having every single card you want or every single card you're looking for loaded. Is that a fair assessment?
I think so. I think it's a daunting task of looking for cards at a, the Chicago National was very eye-opening for me. My feet hurt by the end of the day. My lower back hurt from walking the whole time, and it's hard bending over and looking through these dollar boxes here and there. So it's not really a sustainable way or efficient way to go through. So yeah, there has to be a lot of serendipity to your hunt, I believe. So yeah, this is going to be a lot more fun though.
Cool. I like it. So are you bringing cards that you plan to try and sell or trade at the National?
Probably not. Probably not. I have to get through sorting and organizing all my cards. I have a lot in boxes here. I have a closet right to my left that has like boxes about 8 feet stacked, 8 feet high, and I'm just not organized enough at this moment yet. But I'll probably start getting into that next year.
Cool. Well, when you are, you're going to have to talk to the Magpie team. We can make it much easier for you.
Yeah.
Very cool. So is there any people that you met, anyone that you met last year at the National that you're super excited to see again this year?
Yeah, I mean, actually our very first team that invested in us, Slow Ventures, Kevin Collar and I met there and showed him a prototype of our app, and that kind of helped land that investment opportunity for him there. So that, was very happy to meet him. Not sure if he's going to be there this year. There's Scott Roskind, part of Knox, who's also going to be there as well. But just the general other collectors that have similar interests of what they collect, like The Lucky Show on Instagram. He's a good friend that collects a lot of Luka and Steph Curry cards. I've made a few pretty big trades with him here and there before, but in general, just looking forward to meeting all the people that I've communicated with online. So
Cool. So you talk to a lot of people, obviously, as a collector, as a CEO. How do you think people are feeling about the market going into the National?
it feels like there's a lot of negative sentiment in general. I think that these are the more pessimistic people. I feel like there were a lot of people that came into the hobby who, were trying to make a quick buck that may not have been in it for the right reasons. I enjoy sports cards because I have this nostalgic sort of emotional connection to them, really. And I think, the card ladder guys talk about it all the time, about being in sports cards because you like sports cards, not because you want to make money, right? So I think, I think you have to take a realistic approach. Not everything's going to, 10x next year, right? But if it means something to you, then it's worth collecting, right? So that's my mentality.
No, that makes a ton of sense. And do you feel like that's where most people that are going to be at the National are? Or do you think there's still a lot of people that are like, wait, why am I underwater? How do I get out of this hole? What's your read?
I feel like people are going to, I think this is going to be an internal dilemma for a lot of collectors. I think people are going to be trying to liquidate here and there, but I believe people who got into the hobby with a genuine sort of attitude about enjoying it and having the sense of community will ultimately end up enjoying the time that they spend there, right? And as cheesy as that sounds, I think that's what I'm hoping for the hobby, because we need the hobby to grow for, our two businesses to do well as the industry overall, right? So
Totally. No, I mean, I think you touch on kind of the passion that is the backbone of this space, right? And so, yes, there are investment opportunities, but there is also, just a level of interest and love that the majority of people that are in the hobby, we literally call it the hobby, that they have. So tell us a little bit about your thoughts on deal making, the importance of relationships in deal making, kind of how to make the most of, the National, where you, for one of the very rare occasions in the year, basically have most of the industry together in one place. How do you think about that?
I think you just have to be open-minded and realistic. You have to set your expectations where you're not hoping to get, 120% of the comps for your card in a trade, right? I think there's a lot of opportunity to find cards that you wouldn't normally be able to find. The National presents that opportunity because there are so many collectors there. So I think just being open-minded about, taking a loss on one card to trade into another, or purchase a card that you've been looking for, albeit a little bit more than you thought you'd spend. I think you just have to kind of be open about that. And I think then you'll have fun. I think if you're a little bit too defensive, or you're too, for lack of a better word, cheap, I guess, you might not enjoy the time there. But hoping everyone just has fun.
I feel like there's an amazing opportunity, especially given where the market is, to see some really cool trades. Like, I think we could debate whether people are selling stuff now in order to have cash for the national. I've heard some people say that that's kind of what they think is happening now. So maybe prices are a little low, but hopefully they'll have some, they'll have some powder that they're sitting on that they can then deploy at the national. But I think this is a moment when people are going to be willing to perhaps not go the cash route, go much more the trade route to either get assets that they've always wanted for their PC, or that, they want to get into a player like Wiseman, or, they just are looking kind of for a different approach. Are you an active trader? What do you think on that front?
So I actually haven't sold very many cards in the past, but I've done a lot of trades,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
Last national was by far my biggest trade. I have a card behind me that's Contenders Luka Doncic, the playoff ticket, or no, actually the finals ticket, auto numbered to 49, in a BGS 9.5 slab that I love. I ended up trading a Joe Burrow Blue Shimmer Prism auto. I traded a Genesis Mosaic Zion PSA 10, as well as a whole bunch of other cards too. So and that experience was the most fun for me because there was none of that, cashing out and then spending that money towards buying another card. I think this is the trades make the hobby more fun.
Mm.
And that's what I'm really excited about. So I'm not taking any cards to this national this time around, but I'm just looking for cards in most dollar boxes. So I think it makes it a little bit easier for me. But for people who are playing, in the high end cards, I think trades are definitely an exciting part of the experience.
Totally. So you said Center Stage is taking it a little bit easier, not necessarily having a booth, and you guys are doing a lot of, walking the floors. What are some of the exciting things that are happening at Center Stage at the moment, either now in preparation for the national, or, in the weeks to come?
Well, we launched our app in at the end of October of last year, for iOS only. Most of our developers had experience at Apple, so it made it a little bit easier to develop on one platform. But I'm excited to announce that we're most likely going to be releasing a beta for our Android app.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I know a lot of people who'll be happy to hear that.
Yep, for sure. Really excited about that. We're close to 150,000 users now on iOS, which we're really happy with. We've had over 110 million cards searched using our app since launch too. So super excited about that, but we'll also be enabling a lot more features that we're hoping people find useful, right? We're going to allow people to build watch lists. So you can develop a public profile, build watch lists, and then people will know what cards that you're looking for. And then eventually we hope, kind of mesh things together by allowing people to connect with each other. And that's our future goal, right? But we have a lot more steps ahead of us.
Cool. That's awesome. I love it. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's great to hear what's going on. So, all right, tell us, what are the last 3 cards that you would ever possibly sell?
I would say that Luka autograph is something that I hold near and dear to me. I have Cornerstone's Kobe Bryant quad patch auto right behind me. One of my good friends, Pac-Man, on YouTube, he pulled it in one of his breaks, and I didn't have the Lakers at the time, so eventually he connected me with someone who pulled it, and I ended up trading him a bunch of cards for that card as well. As well as I have a blue checkerboard Luka Hoops PSA 9 actually that I really like. It's color match and not worth too much, but I think a lot of people like Prism, but I think the Hoops one is actually a pretty cool card too. So
That's awesome. I love it. That's so cool. Okay, great. So tell me, are there any last hints, pieces of advice that you would give to either people who are new to the hobby, people for whom this is the first national? There's a lot of people that haven't done much in the way of shows or travel for the last 2+ years. What would you sort of give them in terms of advice, or help in terms of expectations?
I'd say from a collecting level, being informed is by far the biggest superpower that you can have. I think in the hobby, in the past 2 years with the run up, it's been kind of hard to kind of stay clear of either some bad faith actors here and there. But I feel like if you develop good connections and network with the right people, then you can kind of have kind of a crash course or education into the hobby. So you kind of understand the ins and outs. So you kind of avoid having the wool pulled over your eyes. I'd say travel post-COVID. I think it's I guess we're not fully past COVID, but We're
If
getting near that end.
only.
Yeah, exactly,
How
exactly.
many people are going to get COVID from the national? That should really be the question, I think. Oh,
Yeah, true, true, true. But yeah, I guess if you just stay safe and practice, social distancing when you can. But then the Chicago National was quite a huge show at the time. Even the trade night was even crazier. So I think just staying safe and trying to be as respectful as you can of people's space. I think maybe that's probably the best course of advice there.
that's great. I love that. So coming prepared with, what are you interested in? What do you, what do you want to do? Number two, open to meeting new people, building your network and kind of forming meaningful relationships. And then number three, hopefully getting out to the beach as well as walking around the show so that there's some fresh air in your life. I like that.
True, true. It does get hot and humid there, so I haven't checked the forecast in the later part of July, but I'm pretty sure it'll probably be pretty hot there. So we'll see.
Indeed. Well, Jersey Shore is a pretty wonderful place to be in July, as long as you're jumping in the ocean every once in a while. So
True, true.
very cool. Well, John, thank you so much. It's been so great to catch up with you. Super excited to hear how you and your team are getting ready for the national, and look forward to seeing you in Atlantic City in a couple weeks.
Awesome, for sure. Looking forward to it too.
All right.
All right,
Thanks.
sure.
Cheers.
Have a good rest of your day.